Hello, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm going to show you why there are things to copy from this unorthodox Ernests Gulbis Forehand. Now, this video is courtesy of Essential Tennis. Thanks, Ian, for allowing me to use this footage. Make sure you subscribe to Essential Tennis. Their link is in the description below. Very unorthodox, right? This is such an interesting forehand. I've had people in the comments asking for this, so let's do it. So the first thing is his grip. He does not have a full Western. It is extremely close to a full Western. In fact, let me show you exactly where he holds the racket. Now, there are two grips that you're going to want to try to figure out to understand the grip that actually Gulbis uses. So first you got the semi-Western grip, that bottom right panel. Then you got the full Western. Now, where do you place your hand, right? You put the base knuckle of your index finger and your heel pad on one of those two panels. Now, it's interesting. Gulbis is not on either panel, but in fact, he actually is right on the corner. It's an extreme semi-Western grip, but there's actually a no name for it because it's halfway between a semi-Western and a full Western. Now, extreme grips typically give you a lot of topspin because they really close the racket face and force you to swing up severely. So let's first look at the way he takes his racket back. So he does not take it back the way I typically instruct, where I actually ask people to take the racket back with both hands. He just reaches out. It looks like he's a bird about to take flight. He's got both arms out. I do like that he has the racket high. This is awesome. I like that he's got his left hand out for balance and for coiling and for being able to move that left hand out of the way in order to uncoil his body. So this position isn't the worst position in the world, right? I mean, he's a high level player, former top 10 player. And you'll notice because of his grip, his strings are pointing severely down. This is one of those hallmarks of people who use a very severe grip, that their strings point down a lot in the back. Another thing I want you to notice is his leg load. He really gets low, so his arm is super high. It almost looks like his left arm is in the way of his vision. I don't even know. Looks like he can't even see the ball coming to him. But he really sits low. In fact, if I put a line at the top of his head, this is something that you can copy, is how down he is, but then he's going to come up. Oh, I got rid of that yellow line. Let's see here. Here we go. Watch this. Watch his body come up. So look at that. He comes an entire head height up above that yellow line. So he's exploding up with his legs. In fact, he's off the ground, right? That's how much upward lift and explosion. I mean, he's pushing against the ground as a power source as he unwinds into this ball. Now, another hallmark of players who use a very severe grip is that the arm is bent at contact. Do not feel, let me get right to contact. There you go. Do not feel like you're supposed to have a straight arm. This is actually one of my pet peeves with coaches, is they try to get their students, oh, you got to have a straight arm. You got to have a straight arm. That is absolutely false. You do not have to have a straight arm when you hit a forehand. I don't care if it's bent or straight with my students. And if you have a severe grip, typically, it's going to be that you have a bent arm. Severe meaning semi-Western or full Western. Typically, the more Western your grip, the more bent your elbow. But you can see he's below contact. Look at this. The butt cap is pointing at the ball. His strings are nearly completely flat against the ground. Right there they are. And then he's got to bend his elbow a little bit. He's going to swing right up the back of the ball. Now, at contact, look at his racket. His racket's closed. This is fine if you have a fast enough swing as you're hitting the ball, right? So if your racket is slightly closed as you contact the ball, you've got to swing really fast. You can see he's below the ball. Now he's above the ball. So he's following that green line. This is literally what's called low to high. Any tennis coach in the world has said low to high a million times. You want to be below contact, then above contact as you're hitting the ball. Now let's talk about that left hand, right? The left hand is out. Now you're not going to want that left hand to be out. It is going to pull in. It's going to help him to be able to turn. But notice, I've always talked about this, how you want your non-hitting hand rising. Watch his non-hitting hand rising as he's hitting the ball, right? So he is not allowing this arm to drop down in front of him, which is so common for amateurs. Brushing up the back of the ball, tons of topspin. Racket goes high up above his head. Now he does finish kind of low, but he finishes in his left hand, which I'm a big fan of. Back foot turns up on the toe. That's because his hip turned. And you'll even notice how still his head stays as he's hitting the ball. The head perspective actually stays very still, and that's why the shoulder comes up under his chin. Even though there are very unique, unorthodox things he does, from the grip to his left arm, to how bent his arm is when he contacts the ball. This move right there, I'll tell you, this I love this look. He actually does many things that you should copy. So what are those things? Bend your knees. Take your racket back high. Close your racket face. Unwind your hips and let your body come up as you're hitting. Brush low to high as you're hitting the ball with the left hand rising. Swing up as you finish. You can see that arm bent. Again, that's a hallmark of having a really extreme grip, because that's anatomically the position your arm is typically going to have to get into just to get your strings to face your target. And then I really do like that he catches the racket in his left hand. I'm a big fan of that, to just make sure that you can catch it, corral it, and then bring it back to the ready position. So if you copy not the stylistic and unorthodox things about Ernests Gulbis, but really the bread and butter of the forehand technique, there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.